You have about 20 minutes before you're completely paralyzed.
Let me start with congratulations, sincerely.
Thanks.
So I'm so curious, did you, I'm making a joke about who has the fear of the woods? Because I think this film does a great job at reminding you, just don't go in.
Funny, we're from Minnesota, and as a lot of people know, that's all wilderness or whatever. So we had wonderful childhood growing up in the forest and whatever. So I don't know, I think it's just us kind of creating that fear, kind of doing the things that we didn't really, experience growing up. We were on lakes and fishing and all that kind of stuff when we grew up. So, it's very much based on in our experience. Kind of just, my grandparents had a cabin that they built on a lake, so I spent a lot of time in the woods.
And even in a beautiful, even when the lighting is beautiful, the sky is, even then, we wanted to create something where you could pull some terror or some horror situations out of it. So that was a big thing for us. When we first met with the team and the producers that came aboard to make the film, we kept saying, this has to be gorgeous. It has to be a destination where she goes for this particular reason, and then we want to turn it into a horror movie, but we want to do it all in the daylight. So that was really purposeful, to see if it was a challenge to ourselves more than anything.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I really liked, because a lot of times this material will just be at night.
Sure.
To try to amplify it. And again, this is why I'm not going to the woods. It's just like the ocean and Jaws. Fuck that.
Same.
I'm out.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm so curious, when it's two people working together, what is it really like on set? What is it really like? Do you each have strengths and weaknesses that you both sort of self-own? And you're like, I know you're better at this than I am, or I'm better at this than you are. How does that work?
Well, we've been friends since like 4th grade, so we kind of have a second hand by this point. We've had, in our other movies we've done, people have been like, I don't understand, how does the relationship work? And then they get on set the first day and they're like, oh, okay, I see it is. We just have this like unwritten thing where I look at Brian and it's like, yep, I'm already on it. We don't really one of us doesn't handle the camera, one of us doesn't handle the actors, we do it all. And then any of the kind of like discussions as to kind of what the process is going to be, that's all handled in and early on, so that we're like lockstep from day one when we step on set.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's not much anything. It's because we grew up together, and this is the only way we knew how to do it. When we were making films when we were young, it was just the two of us. Sometimes he's on camera, sometimes I'm behind, and vice versa. So it's just something that we grew accustomed to. We don't know any other way to do it. And if we tried to,
and it's hard to explain to somebody how it works.
If we disseminated duties, it would be weird. I think for us more than anything, it's just natural. It's just over years and years of practice and
and working closely.
Movies that no one will ever, nor should they ever see.
One of the things, though, I would imagine having two people analyzing something together, there must be so many times where you catch something that one person will see something the other person doesn't see, whether it be I don't know specific examples, but it's like almost, like an emergency stop, if you will. Like, does that make any sense?
It makes sense, but again, we've never done it any other way. I mean, that's the thing, truly. When we met, we just picked up a camera and started running around. It wasn't like we were two directors that decided to team up. We learned this process. We learned, and we grew our love for this together. So we don't know any other way. I would imagine you're right.
Having two brains on set, probably, doubles the opportunities to kind of like pick up on something that the other person's not really focused on, I guess. But to us, it's kind of second nature. So it's kind of hard it's hard to break down exactly like how our process works that way. It's just, we're always there. We're always backing each other up. It's not a director's job, 30, 40,000 foot view of everything that's going on. And it's like, sometimes he's at 20,000 feet and I'm at 40. Sometimes he's at 40, I'm at 20. It just kind of works that way.
So you see the shooting schedule in front of you. What day do you have circled in terms of I can't wait to film this? And what day do you have circled in terms of how the F are we going to film this?
I was going to say day one, because we shot in Bulgaria. We shot on basically a mountain in the backside of a castle. We were shooting the opening scene of the movie. So that was exhilarating to be in this like spectacular landscape. It was daunting because you're standing there trying to shoot the scene and it's noon and the sun is way up there and there's no clouds.
It's coming and going. But also your first day of filming, and it's such a pivotal sequence for those, when they see it, they'll understand. It really sets the tone for where this film is going to go. Emotionally, where we start and then where we end. So that was exciting. It was your first day. So first day, you've got the nerves, you've got the excitement, you've got all those different things going on. And then we were only there for a day. So we really just had to nail it. And I think more than anything, we said, if we can nail this and just the crew can see what we can accomplish in a single day, that really will set the tone for where we go after this. And of course, it didn't get any easier, but it allowed us to just kind of pat ourselves and go, okay, great, we got this thing down. Now this is where our characters are going to begin, because it really is the beginning of the film. And then it just set the tone for where we went after that. Yeah.
How much did you want to film? I don't know if you filmed in order, but how much did you want to film in order to help, and what was it actually like, the shooting with the line producer figuring it out?
Well, we would have loved to shoot everything in order. You would want to probably do that with every movie, but it's kind of impossible, just the way you got to move crews around and such. We shot a decent chunk of it, 60% of it kind of in order. There's sequences in the movie in which we were at a certain location. I mean, it's shot mostly in the forest, a couple locations, a couple builds. And we shot, a couple of those were week-long shoots or close to it, where we were able to kind of like sequester ourselves there and be like, okay, we're going to be here. We got this space for 4 days. We got that space for 5 days. The rest of it is like you have a day here and you're a day there and your day there, and you try to schedule it out so the locations that you're shooting at are close to each other. You can set up all the crew at a specific place and you're not moving people around. You're just kind of going to a specific location. Luckily, Bulgaria, New Bojana Studios there has like their back door walks into the forest there, and they're allowed to shoot, in the national forest behind there. So it gave us all the looks we really, really needed in kind of close proximity, which was, a godsend.
Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about Sam Raimi,
Yeah, we worked with him before. We did an anthology series called 50 States of Fright, and he did an episode there as well. We did one, and he is so influential on us as filmgoers first and foremost. So working with him was kind of one of those bucket list moments. And it was, more than anything, I think the biggest thing we took away was like his level of enthusiasm. However many years into the game, he's still in it. He still gets excited. But more importantly, he gets excited for you. Like, he wants you to win too. And it's genuine. It just comes from a genuine place. And then he just gets excited about genre. He loves the genre, and he wants to see and he wants to promote new people working within the genre. And so when we had an opportunity to get this project to him, I think he remembered our experience we had on the previous on the show, and was just like, I love these guys. Let's give this another shot. And it's a totally different film than what we worked on in that series. But I don't know. His hands-on approach, his mind. He
gave us some of like the greatest kind of like script to screen notes that we've ever received. I mean, he's very involved. We sit down, we read the entire script line by line with him, and asking questions. How are we shooting this? What's the meaning of this? What's the meaning of this line? What's the meaning of this action line? Do we need this? How do we plan to do this? His whole thing is, what's the audience going to feel from this? What are you doing to get this audience to feel that? And it really was illuminating, and kind of we adopted that into our process now, to kind of just figure it all out. But his notes are, they say don't meet your idols or whatever, but not in the case of Sam Raimi.
No, he's like it's being a graduate school, if you will.
Yes, very much so.
So I'm fascinated by the editing process. So you get in the editing room, you show it to friends and family. What did you learn from those early screenings that impacted the finished film? Any big changes or,
That it was working more than anything. I think, obviously for people that when they see the film, they'll realize that her body is slowly losing mobility. And then there's a period of just stasis, and then it comes back. And so a lot of it was just making sure that in those moments when the film is with her in this period of immobility, and then the tension that comes with that. The concern was, are we going to be able to look at these moments, and is there still going to be the suspense that we want? And it would existed. And that's the thing. What we got is that the audiences were leaning in, they were excited, they were living and dying with every little victory or loss that she was suffering over the course of the film. So more than anything, I think we came away going, it's working, and people are really invested in her and her journey.
And so, letting things breathe too, and giving yourself an opportunity to kind of really live in these suspenseful moments. You can't create suspense in like 30 seconds by just like, zipping through a scene. You got to live in these moments, and especially in this film where she's immobile for a great portion of the film, it was really important to us to like kind of live in those, feel. It's very kind of like a POV type of film in that way, where you're like live in these moments with her, be with her, see what it would feel like. And Sam also pushed that with us, and And when he saw it, he
was supportive of
was
doing
very
that, supportive of staying in that mindset and said, just take chances and let's try something unique. And that was great. That's what you want. You want someone to gift you that opportunity to try something different or something that might feel counterintuitive to what people are watching now. So that was great.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying. And it's, I've had this conversation with so many people. When you just rush through scenes, they're fucking meaningless.
Yeah.
Sorry for my language. Like, you need to care about the people. Anyway,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I really hope it's a huge hit for you guys.
Thank you.
And thank you for your time.
Thank you very
Pleasure.
much, man.
Be well.